Okay, so I had my little hashtag realizing Game of Thrones will be on tonight moment, and so I want to do a quick um, prediction video for episode 7. I'm trying to run it down quickly. I've watched the promo multiple times, so I'm hoping I can get everything. But I'm predicting that Brynden Tully is probably going to die. Riverrun will be retaken by the Freys. Edmure Tully is going to die. But it's not going to be like this ultimate victory for the Freys and for their Lannister allies. Due in part to the fact that this being season 6 and the bastards all rising up against the Trueborn, I'm thinking that if it's not this episode, it's probably gonna be next episode or so that Walder Frey gets assassinated by one of his bastard sons. So it'll be kind of one of those sort of like bittersweet moments. So that's what I'm predicting for as far as they're concerned. As far as the North is concerned, I'm kind of feeling a little anxious and worried with the wildlings because if Tormund's having to go and stand up there and try to rally the wildlings, to uh, to the Stark cause, it just makes me think that they're not going to have the 2,000. It might be 1,500, it might be 1,600, but it's not probably going to be 2,000 because it seems like there's divisions already forming. People who are like willing to throw it in with the Starks and actually get involved. And the others think that they can just settle in the gift and the new gift and just nothing's going to happen to them. And why should we throw it in with these guys? These guys are essentially they're either A, our enemies, or B, it's like not our business. So kind of concerned about that. I'm thinking they're gonna win over the majority of those houses, but for one reason or another, those houses are doubting them. It's like, well, can we really consider Sansa Stark? Can we really trust her? Can we really be willing to throw it in with them? Because of all the Stark history at this point, we've had Ned going south and getting killed. We've had Robb going south and getting killed, and all the people he led to death, and there was no victory from that. It was just death, death, death ultimately, and now the Boltons are in charge. And the Northern houses, it seems to me, they respect strength, ultimately strength, and probably cunning after that. And the Starks are going to really need to demonstrate they have the strength still, and they're cunning enough to win. Which I'm not sure how exactly they're going to do that unless they're able to somehow pull off some little victory, and then that changes the dynamics of who's supporting who and that sort of thing. So yeah, so see the Northern storyline, the Riverland storyline. I'm not really sure about with the Greyjoys how they're gonna do that because I mean they have Yara and Theon have the fleet. And I do have forces, but I'm not really sure how you know if it's a 60-40 split like they have 40% and Euron has 60% or so. And I'm also not sure how the heck Euron is gonna actually build a fleet. I mean, every single snapshot I think we've had of the Iron Islands has shown them to not have any trees, at least at this point, because they've already cut them down to build build the fleet that Yara and Theon took. However, if I remember, they said something along the lines of, "Oh, they've taken your best ships or our best ships." So I'm assuming that they still have some ships. I'm just not sure where they're gonna get the wood for that, or how it's gonna like happen overnight, unless somehow give an indication that between each episode it's so many months that pass, like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months pass, and okay, now we're coming back. And Yara and Theon are they're gonna need a base of operations. I mean, yes, they're on the sea, yes, they're Ironborn, so technically speaking, I guess you could say that's their mobile base of operations. But I'm thinking they're gonna have to seek out allies, at least in order to have a sort of safe house to fall back to. And Theon being who he is with his connections to the Starks, I mean, if the Starks are able to turn the tide in the North, they could potentially provide a decent amount of support to Yara and Asha. But I'm not really sure how it's going to play out this episode. I mean, unless they're just going to go in and launch an all-out attack, and there's going to be some fight between Euron and Asha or Euron and Theon, within this episode, which would be kind of anticlimactic, and it would feel way too rushed. So definitely, I mean, the promo gives away their plans, their intentions, but how they're going to actually execute it, I really can't say. And King's Landing is shaping up to be pretty interesting. I mean, I guess I should have expected, but I wasn't really expecting, the High Sparrow to be as great of a player at the Game of Thrones as he has turned out to be, building that support within, within Tommen's, heart and mind, winning over his heart and mind, and kind of pulling a flanking maneuver, I guess you could say, on the Tyrells and the Lannisters. I am expecting Lancel Lannister to get killed by the Mountain. Whether it turned out to be this episode or next episode, if the Faith militant decides to rush in now that they have Tommen on their side and really like give like a speedy trial to Cersei and anyone else in their way, then that whole scene you see in the trailers with Lancel and his Faith militant buddies confronting Cersei and Sir Gregor Clegane, aka Sir Robert Strong. I think he's gonna get killed off, and whether it's this episode or next episode, I'm right now I'm gonna say this episode, given that the Faith Militant have the support they need, and given the general speed of this season, I'm gonna say they're probably gonna rush it. If not, it'll be next episode most likely. But once Lancel gets killed, that's gonna like open up like this huge rift in the Lannister family even further than they've already had. They've already had rift forming over Theon and Tywin and that whole conflict and that whole course of events. But Lancel getting killed off is just gonna like it's gonna be like Kevin Lannister versus Cersei Lannister. You got my son killed. You're the one who brought the Faith Militant back, and you got him killed. So that will destroy that whole unity there. The Tyrells and the Lannisters are already at war with each other. But I think that's going to be it for my predictions. I'm more focused on the Northern Riverland Starlines. And I'm hoping it turns out for hashtag Team Stark. But there it is, and I'm going to finish up now. So thanks for watching. Bye.